cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got Comedian 96, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome back, y'all, to Music Monday. Another great show. Again, of course, today we're going to be talking about Live Nation. Of course, y'all know that's Jay-Z's own company where he has so many artists, so many venues that he controls. So we're going to talk about some stuff that happened over the weekend with Nicki Minaj. She's one of Live Nation's artists. She was arrested in Amsterdam. She had a performance supposedly set in Manchester, England. And she didn't make it to the show because she was arrested. Now, I saw where she was actually going live at the time. The police pulled her over and they was saying, hey, we're going to make sure you get to your show on time. And she was like, well, what do you mean get to my show? What am I doing? What am I doing? And then finally the officer say, well, you're under arrest. And she was like, no, wait a minute, I'm under arrest. So she actually was filming on IG. Yeah, because she's got that, IG fans. Yeah, yeah. Right. She does. So she was actually filming, but she stopped it before they put handcuffs on her or anything. But they did find weed in her luggage, supposedly, while she was getting off of the plane.
In Amsterdam.
Where
weed is legal.
Where weed supposedly be. But they were saying that she transported the weed.
Ah, that's different.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different if you transport them. And this is another country, so we don't know the laws over there. It's different, just like I want to mention this because she went to jail in another country for having weed. Mm-hmm. The basketball girl.
Yeah, she had she had the sticks.
THC pens.
She had the pens.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, where this story differs is because these officers pulled her over knowing she had a performance to do. They knew who she was. You understand what I'm saying?
Question. Do we know where she flew from? Where was she previously?
She came from...
Because I'm just wondering if, where she came from, it was legal. And if so, then they don't really have a case, in my opinion. They don't have a
case, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, they let her go.
Well, so, unless I missed it, did they say the reason why they pulled her over?
Because of drugs. They found drugs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, so she was driving? They were driving? She was driving?
No, she was in the backseat. I saw the video. She was in the back.
Okay, her driver was driving?
Yeah, and whatever happened, because she exited the plane and she got out. Now, that's what I'm saying. See, they let her get off the plane to get in wherever she was going. Okay. But she wasn't driving when I saw her. She wasn't in no car.
So that means that they must have watched her some kind of way. Or if I'm sure she was on a private jet.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I'm trying to figure out what was the reason for pulling her over.
Okay, he said drug. Slash said drugs.
Because they found marijuana in her bags.
How did they found marijuana in her bags?
It's illegal in the Netherlands, is what they're saying. So that's where they found her at, in the Netherlands, and I guess having weed is illegal in the Netherlands. Okay. For recreational use.
So she wasn't on a private flight.
Obviously not.
Okay, so even
if she was on a private flight, it's still the same airport. They got to fly into the same airport, and the rules are still going to be the same.
It's still illegal.
Okay, so you say they found weed in her luggage. Okay, so my question would be, why didn't they arrest her in the Netherlands?
That's where they arrested her at.
So
in the Netherlands, yeah. She had a performance due in Manchester, England, which is, of course, not the Netherlands. But I'm guessing her ride was from that airport to the show. That's what the police were trying to say. Hey, we'll get you to your show. We'll make sure you get to your show on time.
Sound like she was targeted to me, bro.
But that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make right there. She was targeted because they knew who she was, and you're promising to get her to a show on time. How did you know she had a show to go to? And she said, excuse me, my show, what am I doing? What am I doing? Because they said, we'll get you to your show on time. And she was like, well, my show? You're talking about my show? So they knew who she was.
So my geographical shit is all fucked up because I heard Amsterdam earlier. So I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand.
So she was stopped at the Amsterdam airport.
Okay.
Which is in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So she was about to board a plane for a concert to Manchester,
England. Okay.
And the police found marijuana in her bags.
So Amsterdam is in the Netherlands.
The Amsterdam airport.
Okay. And Comedian 96 said that marijuana is legal in Amsterdam.
But maybe not.
But then I heard you mention a little earlier that in the Netherlands, Amsterdam is illegal.
I thought everything was legal in Amsterdam.
That's what I thought. I think England, where she was flying to, it could not be legal. That's probably what it was, where she was going. So you got to think, a lot of people fly from Amsterdam and try to bring it back to the U.S.
Okay.
Or bring it to another country. So because it's legal in Amsterdam, so they'll try to pack as much as they can and take it to another country or wherever they're going. So maybe where she was going wasn't legal, and they caught her.
Whatever the case was, she was arrested.
Yeah, she got caught.
And that's the main point of this story. She's arrested, and she's a Live Nation artist. Live Nation, I believe, is being targeted for some reason because they stopped her. She didn't tell them, hey, I got weed, I'm Nicki Minaj, I got a show. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why would you stop her? And you know she's an artist. You know that what goes on at her shows, they smoke weed in the shows probably. This is a hip-hop show, right?
Right.
So now you know if you pull her over or check her bag, she going to have something in there to hold her back for.
Yeah, but they got to have probable cause to just search. So I'm sure. I'm not going to say I'm sure they probably smelled.
So, but wait. They may have ran the bags
TSA.
through the machine. And it's going to see that, So it's no doubt that she had the weed. She had weed.
Right.
That's why she was arrested. But the thing is, it seems as if it's a target on Live Nation for some reason because she didn't get to the show. So now they have to postpone the show and make the tickets still available for the next show.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So that's a loss of money.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
A loss of time. Not to mention the countless of other lawsuits that's going on with the inside of Live Nation at this moment. So there's a group allegedly from New Orleans that is suing Beyonce for a small some term that she said in one of her songs. So now they're suing her for using it, and it's supposed to have been Big Frida.
Yeah, release yourself. Release yourself. That part.
So they named it something else. I'm not sure what they named it.
Yeah.
I forget
that part right there.
Big Frida is
the one that you didn't take my soul.
Yeah, but
that's Big Frida.
But she's the one suing.
Yes,
Big Frida is suing Beyonce.
Yeah, it's a lot of people named.
It's a lot. Not just Big Frida, but it's a bunch of others.
Gotcha.
But Big Frida, that was his voice.
Yeah, so that the members of, I guess the group from New Orleans is called the Showstoppers. So they're accusing her of taking the melody, words, I'm guessing the general idea of that song, So they got a list of people that's defendants and plaintiffs, which Jay-Z is one of them, Sony Music is one of them. Of course, Big Frida and Beyonce names is on these court papers, So don't know if it's true or not, only the truth prevails in these types of copyright lawsuits,
That was quick. That song just came out about a year ago. Man, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, I know the song you're
in
talking
22, it came out in 2022.
20, yeah, about 2 years ago. That's a brand new song. You already suing.
Well, now it's supposed to come before 3 years.
That's
in a copyright
infringement
suit. You got to do it within the first 3 years.
Oh, that's how it goes. I didn't know how it worked. Okay.
Yeah, so it's on time, but I mean the fact is, when you had that type of money and you taken from these other people, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying if it was me in her shoes and I'm listening to something and I decide, hey, I want to use that for my album, I'm going to contact you. I'm going to make sure you get what you're supposed to get for this situation.
Now, let me ask you this, Lash. Now, Big Freedia was actually featured on Beyonce's album, so you think she didn't chunk her enough change?
Something's wrong.
Something wrong.
So supposedly it wasn't no credit given for that.
It could be that.
You know,
okay,
on the
the recognition,
the recognition's not there, you know, and that's enough to do it.
You got to think, if you get on an artist that big, if you get on their album, you already expect it. You know you're finna get a check. And if she didn't get nothing, and he didn't get nothing,
well, I ain't gonna say he didn't get nothing.
I'm not saying,
he
didn't get enough. Maybe he got $3,000 and that was it. Or I'm just throwing out a number. I'm not allegedly. But I would be pissed if I know I got a multi-platinum artist and I'm gonna get a nice chunk, even if I just said hello on the verse.
So look, they saying it was no acknowledgement, no credits, no money or nothing for this. Just I'm taking it.
Does say no money.
You know what I'm saying? Wow. So that's what I'm saying. When you, as a big name artist, they need to stop doing that. Give these people
that credit.
You know what I'm saying? Give these people their credit. Mm-hmm. Because if I use something of yours, I'm gonna say, hey man, this is where I got this from. That was jamming. I liked it. Mm-hmm. Boom, here it is. You know.
They were once in their shoes. So
in their shoes. Yeah, you know, don't treat them like that. You know, and that's for any upcoming person or anything. You know.
Shit.
And I just don't feel that being real if that's a situation that she's actually taking part or taking that without giving them people any kind of credit. I don't think that's cool. But, you know, it's so many different situations going on now inside of Live Nation, which this being one of them. And then another one being the fact that her and the girl that Taylor Swift. So now their fans are excited about this Department of Justice lawsuit towards Live Nation, because now maybe they'll be able to get to see the actual shows.
Yeah, because fans were standing in line for hours just not to be able to see.
Because it cost so much.
And
the ticket sales were high, and people couldn't even get in there to see them. That hurt some of the fans. Now, why, to me, does that seem like an issue? Well, this is my one main reason why. Because Live Nation has 400 artists signed under management and control over 250 venues that puts the shows on for these artists. That's his wife, Beyonce. So what is this going to do? Because now that the Department of Justice is about to crack down on the prices of these shows, what is that about to do to your wife's career and y'all's livelihood? Do you see what I'm saying? It's a different.
I see that conspiracy theory you got going, Slash.
You know what I mean? And even though she's worth $800 million, you know what I mean? But what does this do? Because I'm thinking, if I own Live Nation, I'm just looking at it like this. Mm. Some of my artists, probably more than the half that number that I just gave, 400, more than half of them can't do a show in a venue that I control because I control the price on it. But now my artist's not even eating. But they on my label.
They on your label.
And I got the places to perform and do it, to do all of this stuff at. I got the 250 venues for my artists to perform at. But my artists, half of them, came and get a show. I just got certain people. Taylor Swift, I can jack up the prices on her show. I could jack up the prices on Beyonce's show. But I still got 300 artists over here that ain't eating. It sounded to me like somebody's controlling the industry.
Yeah.
And this is why the Department of Justice is looking at this like, okay, wait a minute. There's other promoters and other venues that can't get artists to do shows, and then you got all these artists over here that ain't doing no shows.
Yeah, and Ticketmaster somehow falls up under that Live Nation umbrella.
Ticketmaster's fall because Ticketmaster's probably own most of the stuff that he controls.
Right.
He probably got a contract with Ticketmasters. Now, I'm not saying that what he's doing is wrong. I'm saying, okay, let the other artists shine a little bit. If you can stand to make some money from it, because these are your artists. Get them some shows. People gonna go to those shows because they like those artists. The artists ain't on right now because they can't do no shows. The tickets are too expensive for these artists. You know, the actual performance that he's paying is probably too much for the artist to even bring in that amount of people.
Right, they gonna sell out regardless. When, like you say, with those big name artists, you definitely can lower the prices because they gonna sell out the arenas regardless. They sell out quick.
Yeah, and you got fans upset about that. And when you start mentioning Taylor Swift, you in a whole nother bracket of ticket sales now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And now and Beyonce name attached to this. You made so much. Live Nation made so much money off just those two people as being artists. So when you have that amount of artists and you got at least 300 artists that's not actually doing shows or actually even selling records, because we know half of anything streams not really making no money, and not to mention he owned the stream site also. So what I'm basically saying is controlling the industry the way it does. The way Live Nation is controlling a major factor of the hip hop.
Strong arming. Would you call it strong arming?
This is why the Department of Justice is stepping in to say, wait a minute, we need to litigate this, or we need to stop, because you got smaller promoters, smaller venues that can't make no money. So you're knocking a lot of people out the box. And again, not saying that what he did was not smart. Smart move. But I can understand where the other people are coming from. I can remember Beyonce done that show here, man. Her tickets was $2,000.
25. It was $2,500.
Something like that.
Do you think the DOJ? Do you think the DOJ would have stepped in if Taylor Swift's fans wouldn't have complained about her tickets?
You know, I don't know. That has a lot to do with it, because again, that's Taylor Swift, and those people couldn't afford to get into the shows, and a lot of them got money. But how many of their fans couldn't pay? They don't want to pay $2,500, and I'm just saying that based on what Beyonce ticket sales were here.
Man, the price is ridiculous, bro.
The price is ridiculous, you know. And I'm just saying
the cheapest one was $500.
And see, that's just it, man. The average person that goes to work, take care of their own responsibilities and pay their bills and everything else, take care of themselves the proper way, don't have an extra $500 for this night when it's probably coming around the first of the month.
For real.
People gonna pay their rent first.
I'm in the nosebleed section at the New Edition concert.
But I'm glad you mentioned that too. You know why? Because remember, we would go to concerts, they had tickets for $22, $38, $48, but these were the rappers, and we was going to that. We can afford that.
$10 if you want to stand
up.
I mean?
Yeah. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. With doing that with these artists, it's just a different day and age. Now maybe the price would change a little bit from $20 seats to $40 seats, you know. But at least make it affordable to get the community back to supporting the type of music, because you losing sales on rap, but it's partially because of the way you're controlling the market.
They certainly controlling it that way financially.
You know, so
I remember back in the day, or not too far back in the day, a lot of artists would say, "I make more money off my shows." And the way Live Nation is, it seemed like they didn't figure out where they gonna take the money off the sales and shows. Now they making it to where they taking everything.
What Live Nation is saying is, if you don't make no money, I don't make no money.
But see, that's messed up for the artists now, because now you're taking from both ends.
That's why I'm saying, why would you control the industry?
Because the artists, they always tell me, man, I make my money off my shows.
It makes no sense. And what I'm trying to say is, the amount of money that they have together now would double if they drop prices on stuff and let these shows be able to be affordable for people to get in and enjoy these musical artists. Now you're gonna get more streams. People are gonna get more involved with the hip hop scene. If you don't control the market that way, I mean, if you controlling the market that way and you causing yourself to not make another $1 billion, fine. But if you want to make a couple more billion, the best thing to be would just make these shows more affordable. Let these people get back into the music industry like it used to be, and you'll see a big difference.
Live Nation is getting their money. I thought
they are, but
when like you say, they would announce who's going to concert and a venue establishment like Ticketmaster would purchase all the tickets, and then those scalpers and other venues that sell tickets. Those are the ones that's
right.
getting being charged that extra money. But Live Nation is getting their cheese off top.
They are off of a certain artist. But you got 400 that they may not be as big as them, but why hold down the money with them making it too?
Right.
When you could get all of it.
So, Slash, I got to ask a question. And this is for all of the artists, and I hope somebody listening. And maybe you can answer, because I don't understand why they don't do it. Once you get a name like Jay-Z or Beyonce, or why do you use Rock Nation or anybody? Because now you already got your name. Why don't you look at me? Take me for example. I ain't trying to toot my own horn. I ain't nobody.
Right.
But I'll throw a comedy show together. I'll go to Ticket Storm. I'll order my own tickets.
And you use
I'll get a venue.
Your name.
Everything is in my name.
So I'll tell you
now,
why.
just imagine if it's Beyonce and she does exactly what I do and say, I'm going to rent out, because I can't get, I get little places, venues, but I can't get I can't afford like a Summit or well, it's not the Summit anymore, the Arena Tower or like that. She can do that. Why don't she do that herself?
Because I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It's called the Articles of Incorporation. If I incorporate a name, that makes me where I'm not solely liable for anything that insurance, nothing that goes against this company, I'm not liable for. It's incorporated. So it's me, it's other people on the board. I got other people that sign saying, hey, I'm making decisions or making investments in this company. I have a say so. So she's not the sole proprietor.
But she can hire somebody to do that portion of it. You get what I'm saying?
But it's business.
Right.
It's tax purposes and all that.
Yeah.
So it's just the way America designed the system. You got to play that game.
Okay. I guess I'm on a smaller scale, so it don't matter.
Well, think about it. I mean, because the way you're talking about the Comedian 96, that would, if she did do something like that, then you'd have to think about, Beyonce has a very huge fan base.
Right.
Think about the Astro travesty. That would keep her away legally from those type of lawsuits.
Situations.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You would hire somebody to do all that LLC paperwork, all the, as far as, and the medical or whatever, water, all venues that you're gonna set up and all that.
Right.
That portion, she should hire somebody to do that portion, but she should set up her own. All artists, not just her. Let's do your own concerts and make your own money, and you pocket those ticket sales, those $2,500 per seat.
Yeah, that's a different level of the game, though. You got to have that money to control that venue. You know what I mean? You have to secure these venues.
Exactly. I'll buy security.
See, Live Nation got the money to do it. Jay-Z don't have the money to do it.
They got billions. Why they don't?
You're not understanding. Okay. So what the incorporation means is, if something happens like what K Money just stated at the Travis Scott tragedy happened for the Astroworld tour that he was doing. If she did that and paid for the show and did all that under her name as Beyonce, every lawsuit filed would go to her, directly to her personally.
Makes sense. Now you got me. I get it.
So that's business.
Yeah, so if every person, you're right. Gotcha.
That's all it is.
I said the same shit.
He did.
But he broke it down.
Oh, okay.
You got to break
You
it down.
got to tell him 3 times or
Seven
more.
times. Seven times.
Oh.
You got it wrong.
So my only thing with this Live Nation situation and what they're going through is, just kind of, I just feel like the artists are should be able to do shows. I mean, they do deserve to try to have a career, you know, and this is how most artists make their money in the first place. The shows is where they accumulate more of their money. It's not in streams. It's not in record sales. Records are not selling. So, I mean, these artists, in order to feed themselves, man, and feed their family, they've established themselves as artists to sign to a management team that was going to help them take care of their career, which would allow them to feed their family. I think everybody's family should eat instead of just one. Right. Y'all get back at us. So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast.